parents, Deacon John Wilson here. I should have said class of 2022 parents. Well, we're about halfway through the CSU, actually 40% of the way through the CSU application period. And there's some things I need to make known to you, especially if I filed your application for you or helped you to file it. Either one, it doesn't matter. Um, I want to point out something to you that's happening in CSU, well, also in UC, if you're doing UC. And some schools are telling you about it, some of the UC, CSUs, and some of them will not tell you. Well, I'm going to tell you what's going on, and it's in regard to the vaccine mandates. Um, Again, if you've already decided that your children, your youth who's going to college will take the vaccine, then this is not relevant to you, and you can pretty much ignore the video. But if you or your child are unsure about the vaccine, this video is for you. Yeah, you need to be cognizant and aware. Now, the purpose of this video is not to say to you, to tell you what to do if you're in that class or category of people who are not sure about the vaccine. And there's a lot of vaccine hesitancy right now. And just to clear everything up, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm 63 years old now, and I am a type 2 diabetic. So I felt it was in my best interest to get vaccinated in April, and I got both shots. I'm not required to get the booster, so I won't be looking to get it. And that's my situation. But it is not your situation. And I will not presume it on my place to tell you what to do and how you evaluate the data. But please base it on data, on real data. But that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is if you're vaccine hesitant for your youth who's going to be going to college in fall of 2022, maybe even you haven't taken the vaccine, this video is for you. So the CSUs and UCs, let me go ahead and put up this slide here. I'll be saying CSU, but I presume it'll be the same and is the same for UC based on what they've told students this year, who I know that are on their campuses. There's a view graph in our last session that I want to show you. This is our last session that we had, by the way. Please go to our website and see the video of that session if you haven't already. But this is the slide that I'm most interested in. How will your campus handle the COVID-19 mandates? It's not only a question you should ask yourself about your CSUs and your in-state California schools and your UCs, which are all pretty much the same on mandates. You should ask it about all of your schools, because the things like vaccines and masks matter to you, then you need to know this. You need to look and see whether the vaccine is required. This, again, I'm talking to people who are vaccine hesitant or not sure for your college. You may have taken it, but you're not sure you want your student to take it. You also should be asking, is there a testing alternative going to be offered? Like, will the students be able to test in lieu of the vaccine? In the case of CSU, vaccines and masks will be required for all students by the time we get to 2022 fall. So your student will be required to get the vaccine. In fact, on some of your applications, it asked for you to attest, the student to attest to the fact that they understand that, but on most of them, they do not. But right now in CSU, the vaccine is required and masks are required as well. This might change, but I don't see it changing. I see the country as being very firm on these mandates. And mandates could change for political reasons. We never know. But right now, I have to tell you that it is required. Okay? There's an issue of red states versus blue states. You might say, well, where can I go where it's not required? And this is I'm just, again, not getting political, just telling you the way it is. If a state has a Republican governor and probably legislature, they're tending to not have mandates. They're tending to have low rates of infection. To look at Florida, they're now last in cases per, I'm sorry, last in deaths per million, but also one of the last in cases per million right now. So even Florida, Texas, Arizona, the southern states where HBCUs are, do not have DC. They do not have vaccine mandates. Okay. And nor do they have testing mandates either, but they have testing and most of them have testing and vaccines, COVID testing and vaccines available readily to their students. But CSU and UC will require the vaccine, and there'll be a masking requirement. So if I send in your application, you attested to it. In some cases, in other cases, it wasn't even there. But yet, when you make a deposit to go, they'll make you aware that needs you to upload your test information. I just want you to know that so you can make an informed decision. So my schools like Boise State, Grand Canyon, all my southern states, those schools do not have vaccine mandates. I think the same is true for Washington State and some for private schools. So Seattle Pacific does not have a vaccine mandate. Okay. All right. So I hope that that's clear to you. I want to make sure that that's super clear to you in all this. Masks is something else you may ask about. Are required all the time? Are there meetings allowed on the campus? What is campus life like during COVID? It's something I want you to do before you make a permanent decision on a school. It's a top factor in college selection, which is why I covered it in the last meeting. Are there any city mandates? Like we might have that the school does not have a mandate somehow. I've seen that, but the city has mandates. You can't participate in city life in some cases without a vaccine. And again, we're talking about unconditional mandates. I mean, testing is originally was going to be something that people were offering, but more and more I'm seeing not even the testing, because the question becomes who pays for the testing. And in CSU's case, they're not going to have testing on the campus. They're telling students right now, maybe they're telling them now that just to make them get vaccinated. I don't know. I sure hope that's not true. But I'm here just to tell you the way it is. All right. I hope that helps parents. Hope that helps you to know what's going on in terms of COVID-19 mandates in the state of California. As always, if you have any questions, please contact me right away. Get a hold of me by email or online with Messenger or some kind of way so we can talk about it further. God bless you. Bye-bye now.